Brothers, we gotta talk. So it was 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm dreaming. I'm in the deepest sleep of my life, and I hear the doorbell go off. Ding dong. I thought it was my dream. I'm partially awake like this, and my girl says, Eli, she says, did you hear that? Immediately when she hits me on the shoulder, dude, I spring up out of bed. I grab my gun, and I'm like, stay here. I start going out in the hallway. Right now, like, I've never had to deal with anything like this. So my heart is just freaking pounding. And I give it a couple minutes because I don't want to like expose myself. I'm just kind of peeking the corners. I look out of the window and I see like 10 cops at my next door neighbor's house. I'm just kind of paying attention. Go outside. Eventually, I see them bring a body bag into the house. And a few moments later, they come out with someone in that body bag. I see, it looks like some family members are standing around crying, hugging each other. There's no like lights or ambulances or anything. They just kind of put this body into like a hearse, like a funeral hearse, but more like just a van to kind of bring the body somewhere. And I'm like, dude, holy shit, what's going on right now? So I eventually go to the officers. I'm like, you guys rung the doorbell. What's going on? And they're like, we were just looking if you had any surveillance, if you had a camera. And I'm like, I had thought like, man, is this a suicide? Like, so I said, is this a suicide? And they kind of said something like that. So I talked to my other neighbors. It ends up that my neighbor committed suicide, man. And he was a young dude. The scary thing about this is he looked just like someone that would come to a high Thumos meetup. He looked like just a young guy in our group. When I first moved here, I met him. I'm not going to say his name, but I met him. I said, what's up, man? How are you? You look like you lift. We were talking about lifting a little bit. But then I would see him, here and there walking, kind of just wave to him. And, I guess he killed himself and he was just sitting just rotting in his house, man, right across the damn street for the last couple days. And, man, I'm just telling you guys this because, I wish I could have said something to him that maybe change maybe could have been like a word of encouragement, for him. Shit, man. A word of encouragement that could have lifted his spirits a bit, but unfortunately that's not the case. And I feel like a lot of men are in a very similar position as this guy. I know, there was times in my life where, dude, I was sitting in that, taking a shower, and I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of continuing on? What's the point of waking up? What is all this? I have no one there. At the lowest point in my life, I was just lonely. I was miserable, and I was looking for ways to cope. And I want to make this message, man, because if you're in that situation, you're lonely, you gotta realize there's something you can do about it. And when I would look at my neighbor, I didn't see anyone coming over his house. He was alone all the time. On his walks, he was alone. There was no friends from what I saw. There was no women. Like, I remember one time he had told me and my girl, he was like, when we first moved here, he was like, yeah, I just went through a breakup. So I don't know if that was some of the cause. First off, there's no reason to kill yourself over a girl. Never to kill yourself over a woman. That is complete stupidity. They will always come back, as Fabian says in our group, rule 1. They always come back. And if, it's not even an ex-girlfriend, but a woman will come into your life. You just need to keep living, dude. And man, whatever the reason is, loneliness can ruin a man. Loneliness is the worst kind of torture, right? The worst kind of torture for a human being, and I think especially a man, solitary confinement, where you're just stuck in your head, you got nothing, is the worst torture because you torture yourself. You have no one else to talk to make things bearable, the burden of life bearable. And so, guys, listen, if you're dealing with anything, please just talk to me in the comments, talk to me in the group, whatever. Reach out to someone for help. Get involved with something. You cannot think you're going to be okay being an absolute recluse in your house, doing drugs and going on the depths of the internet, reading a bunch of bullshit. You just cannot feel like a man if you do these things. You're not going to feel like a man if you just cope with existing. You're not here to just exist. You're here to live. Dude, I don't know, man. If you're struggling, reach out to me. But also, don't just accept. Don't accept sadness. Don't accept. There's something you can do about it, and it's called do something about it. Do something about it. Your time is passing, and it's okay. It's not going to be like this forever. You're going to be able to have a better life, but you got to keep going, man. You don't get to get everything all at once. You got to keep going. There's going to be sad times. There's going to be times where you just, fuck all this. You're going to think, fuck all this. What is the point? You're going to be heartbroken. Good if you're heartbroken. You need to get your heart broken so that you stop living in a fairy tale lie and putting women before God. You need to get fired. You need to work shitty jobs. Good. So that you can go in and desire to make something better, to be better, to do better. It's not going to be an easy ride, man, but it's worth it. Good days, bad days, it's just going to pass. They always come back. So, don't go hollow, man. Don't you dare go hollow. Wherever you are, keep that fire burning. Keep the Thumos inside. Don't you dare go fucking hollow. Surround yourself with good people. That's all that matters. If I was the last man on earth, how long until I put a bullet in my brain? Without other people in our life, without family, without friends, who are we? But that also means that we need to be there. We don't need to just be there. Oh, why is no one hitting me up? Why are my friends not hitting me up? Why is my family not calling me? Why does no one care for me? What about you caring for other people? And that simple shift is what must occur, because you're not called to be cared for. You're not called to be this king, this king that just gets to reside in his palace and have everyone bring him sweet treats and everything he ever desires. No, you're called to be a servant, to serve others, to give life, to get life. You're called to be someone that can do those things. It's not about you, man. Nothing pisses me off more when I read comments like this online. I just want a woman that loves me. I want a blonde hair, blue-eyed female that I could just love me. Dude, is there anything more pathetic than a man that just needs one thing in his life that he can now be, one woman, the love and affection of a woman? Oh, if I just had this, if I just got this, I would finally be at peace with myself. No, you don't even know yourself, dude. You don't even know anything about yourself. You are selfish individual. You are weak because you need this thing to be content with who you are. You need to become something. You're called to be a servant. And a lot of us, we're not being servants. We're not being doers of good. We're sitting around living lifestyles, lavish lifestyles of a king that has concubines, that has everything, all of the, the delivered food, the constant sexual stimulus, the constant best music in the opera house, the just excessive luxury, and yet we feel miserable and weak. Why? Because we haven't earned the right of kinghood. We haven't earned the right to these things. We're miserable, and we often isolate ourselves. We get unhappy because we think the world owes us something. We become victims, and it's all a lie. It's a facade, and you have to be real with yourself, man. So again, if you're struggling, reach out to me, but also do your part. The world needs you to be better, and it needs you to be strong. All right? It needs you to stop complaining. I get it. It's hard out here. You got to keep going, brother. You got to keep pushing. Keep it out, Thumos. I'll see you soon. Peace.